countless hours of time in the pool, countless hours in here, making my body stronger, and it's been kind of like a mental thing too, just telling myself like, you're fast enough to be able to compete with those girls that are at other Division I schools that I'll be competing against next year. It was like a big decision of like where I was going to go to school, and Valpo was a great experience on my first initial visit. And then once I met some of the teammates at an invitational that I went and watched, they were also just super inviting. The ability to be able to further my swim career and the equipment that I'm able to use at Valpo, I think can help me make really big strides. 18 months ago, I was diagnosed with a third-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I moved down here when I was younger. I went to the gym with my brother and my dad. It felt kind of natural. I just had a love for it. I feel like it got serious when I went from probably my 8th grade year to my freshman year. I knew Purdue was home for me because I just felt very comfortable when I got onto the campus and got around all the people and the team. They love me, I love them. And I'm just super excited to play with that group of girls and that group of coaches. Now I'm in here working out and it's helping me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders, you get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.
The athletes has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
It was after a bad game in 8th grade. I decided that I was going to try my best to, be able to earn a scholarship and play in college, and so I'm really excited for it. Once you come here for a while, you have all the experience. I feel like I'm getting a lot stronger, especially in basketball-specific positions. I feel like I'm able to move better, I'm more flexible, able to run faster, jump higher, and just stronger overall. So then, when you go back to your school, you can take that experience, to help you prevent injuries when you're doing your own weight training with your own school.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Last year I was on JV and it was the last point of our Snyder match. I just went down and I couldn't move. Like, I could not get back up. And I had torn my ACL, part of my meniscus, and then I also had like severe bone bruising. It was kind of tough to just be like, I can't play volleyball, and I really have to work to get back to where I was and try to be better and like grow from there. So Dr. Hartswell was the wonderful surgeon who did my knee, and for 2 months between my injury date and my surgery date, I went to PSM sports therapy, and I really got some great care before my surgery that would help me to be stronger afterwards. For about 6.5 months after surgery, I was also with PSM just working to get back and be better. The exercises my physical therapist Will has are really geared toward like his individual patients, and it was just cool to see the different progressions from exercises that I would be doing. And I think that was a big part of like knowing where my progress was and knowing where I stood. There's nothing else that brings me as much joy as volleyball does. Just being able to confidently say, I can do this move, or I can do this move, or I feel safe with my knee. I think that was when I really knew that I was like ready to get back out there.
The future is what you make it, so make it matter. At the University of St. Francis, we'll help you build a purposeful life, one based on your interests, goals, and desire to make the world a better place. Learning is personal here. You'll be known by name, supported by experts, and connected to professional opportunities. Our Catholic values will inspire you to use your education for the greater good by serving and leading others. Remember, the future is what you make it. Build a life of meaning and purpose at St. Francis. You belong here.
Why choose Kelly Chevrolet? We offer a wide selection of new and used inventory with a team that guides you to your perfect fit. Our certified pre-owned options ensure peace of mind with warranties and rigorous inspections. Competitive pricing, flexible financing, and convenient trade-in services, making your dream Chevrolet a reality. Trust our experienced service team to keep your vehicle in top shape and enjoy free car washes as long as you own your vehicle.
From Eugene Parker Court here at Concordia Lutheran High School, we welcome you to tonight's boys volleyball match here on SummitCitySports.com. Yes, it's hard to believe the postseason is 2 weeks away, and two teams that are looking to try to get on a roll up to their sectional, which both will be playing in DeKalb coming up 2 weeks from now. The question is, will one get a bye and one will not? That's the joy of the random draws that nobody knows. But nonetheless, two teams that want to build on momentum in the last 2 weeks of the season as the Northrop Bruins head a little bit further east to take on the Concordia Lutheran Cadets. And with that, welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Joe Northern, delighted to have you with us. Game time coming up at about less than 10 minutes away between these two teams. And again, to really take a look at least how these two teams have gone since the last time. Well, number one, since the last time we have covered these two teams here on the air, our first ever Northrop game we have covered, and they have been one of the dominant forces in the SAC this season for boys volleyball. Again, a 9-3 team this season. They did take the loss to Carroll last week, 3-1, but have really just taken care of business across the board, defeating Wayne 3-0, Columbia City 3-2, a 3-2 thriller, mind you, and DeKalb 3-0. Their only three losses on the year just happen to be against three of the best teams in Northeast Indiana in Snyder, Carroll, and Homestead. Homestead, however, that was only a two-game set in a little bit of a classic earlier on this season. Meanwhile, we take a look at the Fort Wayne Concordia Cadets again. The Cadets, our first game this season, speaking with Coach Tony Terrell before the broadcast today, say that his team is just trying to continually get better no matter what. And they do it with each day and do it with each set and feel that, yes, confidence is increasing. The problem is that there's not enough games left in the season to try to see if that confidence is coming to fruition or not. And with the Cadets, after tonight, only 3 games left in the regular season, and not an easy 3-game stretch either, with going to Homestead and Snyder while hosting Bishop Dwenger. It's not going to be an easy 4-game stretch for this Cadet team. But they have had one of the more challenging schedules in the league, or really we should say out of really anybody this season, and yet still finding a way to really push their opponents to the limit. Again, losing in straight sets to Carroll, but pushed them very close to the brink in the third set, losing 2-0 to Leo. If that would have gone in the third set, Coach Terrell says he had a great opportunity to really try to slide in and take set number 3. And then the first game that we were here for against Heritage, taking at least set number 3, but dropping 3-1 and taking Columbia City to the distance 3-2. So if that tells you anything, this could be a sectional preview tonight between these two teams and looking to see how much they can make a run in the DeKalb Regional, or the DeKalb Sectional, I beg your pardon, coming up a few weeks from now. So it's the Bruins and the Cadets coming up from the cage here at Concordia Lutheran High School. And tonight's game on Summit City Sports is brought to you by the Big-Eyed Fish, a Northeast Indiana tradition. A Northeast Indiana tradition with the best food in town and a family-friendly atmosphere only at the Big-Eyed Fish. By Kelly Automotive Group. You can buy now at drivekelly.com, I beg your pardon, and get free car washes at their new state-of-the-art car wash facilities, only at shopdrivekelly.com. By Tom Steele Tire, they've been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years. The 2 locations off Clinton and Jefferson will help you not only get the best tires in town, but also the best service at Tom Steele Tire. By Ottenwiller Contracting. Ottenwiller Contracting invests in their customers by providing peace of mind during the entire process from bid to build. Visit OttenwillerContracting.com. By Summit Volleyball, training and building the highest quality volleyball players in the area from ages 5 to 18. Jump on board. Together, we can reach the summit. Also brought to you by Jolly Law Firm, the area's premier law firm, helping defend the accused from the government. Whether you're facing an OWI or any other criminal accusation, Jolly Law Firm is the answer. Online at jollylawfirm.com. Also brought to you by Siaka Cleaning and Restoration. Siaka Cleaning, quality work, responsive service, and a commitment to people with the best cleaning and restoration in the 260 and throughout Northeast Indiana with commercial cleaning services, janitorial, water damage, everything you need from Siaka Cleaning and Restoration. Online degree programs at the University of St. Francis can be completed in as little as 12 months. Visit online.sf.edu. Also brought to you by TJW Industrial, the refrigeration leaders in Fort Wayne with refrigeration and mechanical, HVAC and plumbing, 24-hour emergency service and more. Visit them online at tjwindustrial.com, located off Freedom Way here in Fort Wayne. Also brought to you by the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with the Labor's District Union Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA. And brought to you by Parkview Sports Medicine, the PSM Edge training program. It maximizes your athleticism through personalized performance training to reach your goals and get you right where you need to be at the next level. Visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com/edge to schedule your next free consultation. And, of course, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by who else than SummitCitySports.com. Follow us on X at 260 Sports, like our Facebook page, Summit City Sports, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back with the opening serve, starting lineups again with a key matchup that could play sectional implications, or at least a sectional preview, we should say, between Northrop and Concordia from the cage coming up in just a little bit. This is high school boys volleyball on SummitCitySports.com.
Countless hours of time in the pool, countless hours in here, making my body stronger, and it's been kind of like a mental thing too, just telling myself like you're fast enough to be able to compete with those girls that are at other Division I schools that I'll be competing against next year. It was like a big decision of like where I was going to go to school, and Valpo was a great experience on my first initial visit, and then once I met some of the teammates at an invitational that I went and watched, they were also just super inviting. The ability to be able to further my swim career and the equipment that I'm able to use at Valpo, I think can help me make really big strides. 18 months ago, I was diagnosed with a 3rd-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before, and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I moved down here when I was younger. I went to the gym with my brother and my dad. It felt kind of natural. I just had a love for it. I feel like it got serious when I went from probably my 8th grade year to my freshman year. I knew Purdue was home for me because I just felt very comfortable when I got onto the campus and got around all the people and the team. They love me, I love them. And I'm just super excited to play with that group of girls and that group of coaches. Now I'm in here working out and it's helped me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders, you get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.
The athletes has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, I mean, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, I mean, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
It was after a bad game in 8th grade. I decided that I was going to try my best to, be able to earn a scholarship and play in college. And so I'm really excited for it. Once you come here for a while, you have all the experience. I feel like I'm getting a lot stronger, especially in basketball-specific positions. I feel like I'm able to move better. I'm more flexible, able to run faster, jump higher, and just stronger overall. So then, when you go back to your school, you can take that experience, to help you prevent injuries when you're doing your own weight training with your own school.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Last year I was on JV and it was the last point of our Snyder match. I just went down and I couldn't move. I could not get back up, and I had torn my ACL, part of my meniscus, and then I also had severe bone bruising. It was kind of tough to just be I can't play volleyball, and I really have to work to get back to where I was and try to be better and grow from there. Dr. Hartswell was the wonderful surgeon who did my knee, and for 2 months between my injury date and my surgery date, I went to PSM sports therapy, and I really got some great care before my surgery that would help me to be stronger afterward. For about 6.5 months after surgery, I was also with PSM just working to get back and be better. The exercises my physical therapist Will has are really geared toward his individual patients, and it was just cool to see the different progressions from exercises that I would be doing. And I think that was a big part of knowing where my progress was and knowing where I stood. There's nothing else that brings me as much joy as volleyball does. Just being able to confidently say I can do this move, or I can do this move, or I feel safe with my knee. I think that was when I really knew that I was ready to get back out there.
The future is what you make it, so make it matter. At the University of St. Francis, we'll help you build a purposeful life, one based on your interests, goals, and desire to make the world a better place. Learning is personal here. You'll be known by name, supported by experts, and connected to professional opportunities. Our Catholic values will inspire you to use your education for the greater good by serving and leading others. Remember, the future is what you make it. Build a life of meaning and purpose at St. Francis. You belong here.
Why choose Kelly Chevrolet? We offer a wide selection of new and used inventory with a team that guides you to your perfect fit. Our certified pre-owned options ensure peace of mind with warranties and rigorous inspections. Competitive pricing, flexible financing, and convenient trade and services, making your dream Chevrolet a reality. Trust our experienced service team to keep your vehicle in top shape and enjoy free car washes as long as you own your vehicle.
Ago, I was diagnosed with a 3rd-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
The future is what you make it, so make it matter. At the University of St. Francis, we'll help you build a purposeful life, one based on your interests, goals, and desire to make the world a better place. Learning is personal here. You'll be known by name, supported by experts, and connected to professional opportunities. Our Catholic values will inspire you to use your education for the greater good by serving and leading others. Remember, the future is what you make it. Build a life of meaning and purpose at St. Francis. You belong here.
Welcome back to Concordia Lutheran. National anthem being played, and two teams greeting each other, wishing good luck. And again, this very well could be a DeKalb sectional preview. Both of the teams going north coming up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow, as it stands right now. Again, Concordia coming into this one at 7-4 on the regular season. They had a sweep to Carroll not too long ago, last Wednesday evening. But in the meantime, however, they have gotten some quality wins, at least in the league as it stands, or at least trying to stay close at the top of the table. But again, they have 3 all-important matchups after tonight as well, including Wednesday making the drive down to Homestead on the southwest side, and then welcoming Bishop Dwenger for Senior Day on Monday. Next Monday night, we should say, May the 5th. And then Snyder going to be on the road on May 7th. Meanwhile, for the Northrop Bruins, again, 9-3 on the season. Again, a team start of the year off strong at 4-0 on the season. But with losses as it stands, 2-0 to Homestead, 3-0 to Snyder, and 3-1 to Carroll. So again, Northrop trying to knock on the door and be in that Mount Rushmore, the top 4 teams in Northeast Indiana as it stands. Of course, all of those teams will be headed to that DeKalb sectional coming up a little bit later on in the month of May, well, with the exception of Homestead. Homestead going to get the advantage. They will be playing at Southside, where the primary competition will be nothing to sneeze at, however, as the Heritage Patriots will be out there as well. Let's talk about this match and these two teams as Northrop gets it over to start. We are underway. Delighted to have you with us here, as we are just 2 weeks away from the end of the regular season, as that's off the tip against Northrop. So Concordia going to strike first, 1-0. And number 12, Mason Pinkop to bring it over. Pinkop gets this one, just skating across, goes to 2. And down to low it in for Romeo Ramos to answer right back in the interim. And speaking with Coach Terrell again before this matchup, saying that his team knows what they have to do to try to top a very loaded Concordia, a very loaded Northrop team that has a lot of weapons up front. As that one is batted off the hands of Akur Shine. So the Bruins immediately on a 2-1 run to start here in set number 1. Push out the other way. This is high and out of play off the hands of the Wathen Shine. So Northrop now starting the game on a 3-0 run here in set number 1. Into the net that goes in the meantime. The Cadets will get a chance to reset as it's off the hands of Reese Nav. So 3-2. Push up on the way from Butler. Butler, one of the leading attackers for this Northrop team, can't get it over in time. And just like that, the Cadets answer very quickly, 3-3. Here in set number 1. So again, both teams trying to knock on the door of being in that upper echelon of teams in their sectional, but they're not there as of yet. However, this matchup can't give them the confidence they need to get there, as Max Termolin gets it over and in. 4-3. Brought across by the Cadets. This one lobbed over from Parrott. Now again, tipped over. And a little push. And a little bit of a high lift going to call against Concordia. So we're even at 4. So the libero now to bring it over. Fauso, his brother Naso. 2 really leading leaders for this Northrop team this season, especially in terms of at least trying to ensure that their team is passing the ball around quite a bit. Again, 2 leading assisters for this squad. Here's So again. So gets it across. High swing, blocked up front, but out of play. So again, momentum is something that is not existent in this matchup as it stands right now, but again, shows you the quality of these 2 teams. Very equally matched here tonight. So again, to bring it over, finding Butler. Butler down and in. And it's 7-4. An advantage of Northrop. Here's So again, out of play. Meanwhile, we talk about remaining schedule for the Northrop Bruins. Again, they still have 5 matches left in this regular season, but again, they still got to go through Homestead and still have to go through Heritage as they actually take on Homestead tomorrow night. That'll be at Northrop at 6:30 start time, and then we'll welcome the Patriots for the final game of their regular season coming up on May the 8th. So again, Northrop trying to go for their 10th win of the season here tonight, already looking every much the part, thanks to the big swing on the way by number 7 again in Romeo Ramos. Ramos, second leading attacker for the Bruins on the season. It's another high serve back on the way from Concordia. Brought out by Butler. Butler again. Down low, finding Shine. Shine hopped over the other way, now finding Alex Cordy. Cordy lobbed over, still kept alive. The dunk tank. Going to go a lift against Concordia. So the kill's going to go to Reese Nave, making 9-5 in advantage of the Bruins. So again, Northrop doing a great job of at least trying to shut down and really pick apart the mistakes that we've seen from Concordia early on here in set one. Low dig down to Butler. That's down and in. And the nice answer from Max Termolin the other way to make it a 3-point game. Lucas Boersma now to bring it over. Finding Butler. Butler hits this one high and over. Down low. Got it. Fay 2 brings it over to make it now 10-6 in advantage of the Northrop Bruins. So the Bruins, again, just trying to find the mistakes against Concordia and need to find a little bit of a run. We haven't seen really any team go longer than a 3-0 run here in this first set as of yet. And they certainly won't, thanks to the big swing from Cordy up front. So Cordy with the big push up the front. And now an opportunity for the Cadet lead to be cut down, or the Cadet deficit, I should say, cut down to 2. And they got it to go thanks to a quad hit, or actually a lift going to go against the Bruins. This time it's going to go against So. So all of a sudden the lead cut in half down to 2. Brought over by the Cadets. And Shine, but off the tip against the Cadets. And a lemonade at advantage of the Bruins. As Coach Trevor Clark and company has his team right where he wants them, but again, they haven't had a chance to take on some of the larger powerhouses that we've seen in Northeast Indiana as of yet. As a side out going to go against the Bruins. So again, they got the win against Dominic Columbia City back on March 29th. But very much still looking for that statement win. And they could find that against Homestead coming up tomorrow night. But they got to get past Concordia first. Concordia also looking for a statement win of their own. This one's brought over the other way. Set back by Linder. Linder on the other side. Hits this across to Shine. That's dug the other way by De Leon. De Leon now over to Mosher. Mosher out the other way. Now finding Shine up front. Shine off the tip. That is off 2. Again, now finding De Leon. De Leon on the other end. Now finding Pankop. High little dunk attack the other way for Concordia. Another quick swing. Got it to go. As Zach Mosher shuts it down to extend the lead back to 2. So we'll take a look at that again thanks to our friends at Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, found the quick cut up front to bring it down, up and over, and again, forcing that front line into a little bit of extra fits. And that side out is going to go against the front line of Concordia in the meantime. At a point you just missed to make it now 13-10 at advantage of the Bruins. Shine can't get it to go on the other end. Now to make it 14-10. So the Bruins now on a 3-0 run to get things started here in set number 4, or at least continuing to extend that here in set number 1. And a 4-point lead. Here's the push from Linder. That's going to be a side out against the Bruins to get it back on the board and cut the lead down to 3, 14-11. Again, Concordia coming into this one 7-4. Bruins coming in 9-3. That is off the noggin, but still live against Zakar Shine. And brought over on the other end. Got it! So Shine finding his brother, Awathan. And just like that, the lead now cut to 2, 14-12. As Pankop brings it over. And an ace! Now Concordia on a little 3-0 run here in this first set. 14-13 here in the first. Can they continue to ride the momentum the other way? Pankop now with an opportunity to tie it. Gets this one high. Nearly floated out of play, but still kept live by Mosher. Mosher lobs this one over. Finds Shine, but out of play. As Max Dermolen couldn't keep it in the box. And the lead extended back to 2 for Northrop. 15-13. Here early on at set number 1. Mosher up the other way, inside, and finds the back of the box. We take a look at that again, presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. But again, a great movement from Mosher to find the ace. We'll get to that after this play. Make it 2 for him, as Shine couldn't get it over. Here's some recap of that first ace. Again, just kind of gets a little bit of that back of the box, but still good to go. And makes it 17-13. An advantage of the Bruins. Coach Tony Terrell and company will take a timeout. So we'll step aside as well. 17-13. An advantage of the Bruins here in set number 1. This is high school boys volleyball on SummitCitySports.com.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Now I'm in here working out, and it's helped me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders, you get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.
Back here in set number 1, Northrop trying to go on a little bit of a run. Concordia trying to come back. A Shine gets us over. Dug the other way by the Bruins. High tips out of play by Shine. And all of a sudden the lead is extended to 5 here in the first. As again it looked like Arkar Shine trying to get it over the head of the sophomore, but couldn't get it to go in the interim. This one just outside the box. So Concordia will get another chance at that again, as they get the point to make it now 14-18. Dug the other way off Mosher, and off the tip on the front row. Let's make it now a 5-point game. Looked like it was off Evan Armstead in the interim. So Northrop still with a 5-point lead late here in set number 1. Push up the other way now, finding So. Now over to Shine on the opposite end. Looks over to Mosher, down low. Finds it in the back edge. And a 6-point lead, the Bruins' largest lead tonight, to make it 20-14 here in the first. This one still kept alive by Shine. Tipped it over to Concordia and Termolen. That one down low, but into the net they go. And by they, I mean Northrop. Termolen leading the attack on the way to cut the lead down to 5. 20-15 here in the first. Still plenty of time for Concordia. Van Meter brings it over. This one hit high now to Butler. Shine. The swing goes wide and out of play. 21-15 here in the first. Northrop still with the advantage. And another timeout going to be called by Concordia. So Tony Terrell and company using their second of 2 timeouts. Tonight's game on Summit City Sports is brought to you by the Big Eyed Fish, a Northeast Indiana staple for generations. The best fish in town in a family-friendly environment. And not to mention the Big Eyed Fish Express. You can find it all at Big Eyed Fish and Big Eyed Fish Express. By new state-of-the-art car wash facilities and free car washes when you buy from Kelly Automotive, shopdrivekelly.com. And by Tom Steel Tire. They've been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years to help you find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services, with locations off Clinton and on Jefferson. So again, a close matchup. Again, really no team getting one advantage over another in the first portion of set number one, but it's been Northrop taking advantage of the wide swings going against Concordia. So the Bruins trying to extend the lead and get the heck out of Dodge in set number one. Aker gets this one down and in. Concordia, I beg your pardon, gets this one down and in. So the lead cut back down to 5 as Alex Cordy, the senior, brings it over the other way. Cordy currently second leading attacker on this team, as this goes into the net for Lucas Boersma. Cordy coming in with 2.3 kills on an average per set. But a 6-point lead and advantage of the Bruins. It's now Quinston Butler brings it over. Actually, no, I beg your pardon. That's Naso to bring it over. Get this over to Shine. Blocked up at the net. Tipped over again. Still kept live by the Bruins. And they got to go to Mosher. And they do. And they got it. As Aaron Linder was trying to at least find the right edge on that palm, but could not connect the way that he wanted it to. And all of a sudden, it's a 7-point lead. Concordia still adding on to their largest lead here tonight, 23-16. Here's the swing the other way from So. This one brought high the other way. Now finding Shine. Shine blocked up at the net. Finding So on the opposite side. This one tipped up to Mosher. Down low. And to the net it goes for Northrop. So the Cadets still hanging in there here in set number one. Coach Tony Terrell says his team really likes to play those long marathon sets to keep them alive if they can. And no reason to think why they couldn't do it here. Out of the box, Mosher goes. And just like that, 2 quick points on the board for the Cadets to make it 23-18 here in the first. Can Shine bring it over the other way? That's tipped up, blocked again by Cordy, but the swing goes wide in the interim. So set point and advantage of the Bruins, 24-18 here in the first. Here's Reese Nave to bring it over. Shine gets this one down, lobs it over. This one's still kept in play, he goes to Shine. Now high tip, and inside! A little bit of a ping-pong effort, but it's Mason Pankop who found the right touch to keep it inside the box. And the Cadets still in it, but they're going to have to rattle off 7 in a row if they want to take set number one early. This one's high, not a play. The swing going wide for Fay 2. And the lead now cut down to 4. Think it's across to De Leon. De Leon down low and out of play. The side outs are starting to haunt Northrop late here in set number one. And the Cadets find a way to get the edge back in action. As Aaron Linder now to bring it over. Linder gets this one high and across and out of play. It just skates outside of the box, and the set is over. It's the Cadets trying to keep it close, and they do, but it's Northrop finding the edge, winning set number one, 25-21. We head to the second, coming up in just a moment. as this is high school boys volleyball on SummitCitySports.com.
I was diagnosed with a third-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before, and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
The future is what you make it, so make it matter. At the University of St. Francis, we'll help you build a purposeful life, one based on your interests, goals, and desire to make the world a better place. Learning is personal here. You'll be known by name, supported by experts, and connected to professional opportunities. Our Catholic values will inspire you to use your education for the greater good by serving and leading others. Remember, the future is what you make it. Build a life of meaning and purpose at St. Francis. You belong here.
Northrop winning set number 1, 25-21, but very much a team effort in set number 1, too, as again, both teams really not trying to find one edge over another, but it comes down to the attacking errors and service errors going against Concordia thanks to the wide swings from Shine that go out of play. But again, credit up front to Northrop and Quinston Butler and Zachary Mosher for continuing to make things happen for the Cadets. So again, the Bruins, again, first of 2 this week. I want to make sure I'm correct, however. First of 2 this week, if not 3. First of 3, as they welcome the Spartans from Homestead. Probably one of the best teams in the 260 coming up tomorrow night at Northrop. That's a 6:30 start time, and then they head over to New Haven at 5:30 on Thursday evening. Meanwhile, for Concordia, again, their schedule, they've got a gauntlet of it for their last two out of 3 opponents in this 2025 campaign as they head over to Homestead on Wednesday night. That's 6:30 start time. That they will welcome Bishop Dwenger here at Concordia next Monday. That's a 5:30 start time. And then head over to Snyder on Wednesday the 7th. That's a 6:30 start time over at Snyder's. So again, with all those teams going to be in the DeKalb district, in fact, taking a look at Concordia's schedule, their last 7 opponents scheduled from Leo all the way to the end of the regular season will all be teams that they very well could be facing in that DeKalb district. And don't forget, coming up in just a little bit, we will be letting you know our schedule for the rest of the way in the 2025 regular season. Postseason not able to confirm just yet where we will be planning to bring our coverage, but we are hoping that if we can get to the DeKalb sectional, we will be bringing the action to you from DeKalb coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow. Here's Aaron Linder to bring it across. Linder gets this one over down to Mosher on the other end. Great opportunity for Concordia to reset here in set number 2. A team that really finds a way to take advantage of errors after, again, you see what the other team's edge is to get things going, but nonetheless, Concordia trying to ride all the momentum in the world here in set number 2. Shine hits this one into the net, and Northrop evens it up at 1 apiece. Svetu's done a great job of at least trying to set his attackers up front, but he'll be headed to the back line to serve. Here's Shine on the way. His brother, dug again by 2. 2 now on the opposite end, finding Mosher. Down low and out of play. The side out going to go against the Bruins. And just like that, Concordia with the 2-1 advantage early on here in set number 2. Not dissimilar to what we saw in set number 1. Into the net that goes over for Pankop, and we're even at 2. As Zach Mosher now to bring it over. Mosher, run, jump, serve, but out of play. Again, with at least the dimensions of what we've seen here at Concordia, it's a very tight gymnasium, again, with bleachers going up on each side, up on the side that you see on our screen. At least to our back, it's the concession stand. Facing Campus Drive, which turns into Anthony, but then, again, the stands up on the other end as well, but it adds a lot of intensity and a lot of noise to the building too. As that point is good on the board. To make it 3-3 is Quinton Butler. Answers right back. Fauso brings it over. Blocked up on the other end by Nave. Hits this high to Shine. Sets back over to 2. Duck again by Concordia. Here's Pankop. Pankop swings high. That's out of play. Exactly what the Cadets needed. As Van Meter gets it across. And it's 4-3 advantage Concordia. And a Concordia team that really likes to extend the action as long as they possibly can. As this is a team that doesn't necessarily lose in straight sets, but if they do, they try to keep things moving quickly and if possible. So that one goes into the net. Point's going to go back to the Cadets. So 5-3 Concordia. Dug up from Termolin. Termolin brought out the other way. Here's the high push down low for Nave, but out of play. 6-3 advantage of the Cadets. The Cadets now on a 3-0 run here in set number 2. Termolin again gets this over. Mosher now gets it across. Hits this one high as he finds Van Meter. Van Meter goes back to So. So connected over to Pankop. Now back to Shine. Shine again, a little miscommunication back over to So. Dunk down, saved in the meantime. Butler tries to keep it alive, and he does. Now a chance for Ramos at the other end. Goes over to Butler. That one's high, again resetting. Opportunity for Cordy! So Cordy with a great chance to get it back up and in. We take a look at the big swing and attack from number 1, and rightfully wearing the number 1 with good reason. Presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, gets the big swing down and in to continue this 4-0 run for Concordia. 7-3 here in set number 2. Here's the swing down from Butler to answer right back. And the answer Northrop needed to get back into play. So 4-point lead cut back down to 3. Swing going wide against Northrop off the lift to extend the lead back to 8-4 here in set number 2. Again, each match continuing to mean more and more. Only 3 left for the Cadets after tonight. Northrop only 5 left after tonight. The swing goes wide and out of play. This one going to go against Lucas Boersma, the 5'10 senior. And again, for Coach Jody Terrell and company, we'll have some seniors he will have to replace, but the Cadets did a great job of at least staying in control with Northrop, but the Bruins winning that in straight sets in the JV matchup 2-0. Into the net, however, Northrop goes on the push. So the Cadets still taking advantage of at least the Bruin errors early on, 9-5. And again, a matchup that we knew both of these teams were going to be very even on paper. This one skated across, off the hand of Shine, and that one's good if it goes. So the second set, we talk about momentum. We saw Northrop pull away with it late in the first, but Concordia really controlling the tempo here in set number 2. As they let this one float out of play off the hand of Fay 2. 11-5 advantage of the Cadets. Here in the second, trying to even the matchup at 1 apiece. This one hit high off the net and out of play. But wait a second, they're going to say it was off the tip of a Concordia player. And it will be. So 11-6 the score here in set number 2. In second set, midway through here. Hit across now from Nave. Nave hits us up to Cordy, couldn't find the angle. It's making now 11-7. So now the Bruins trying to find a chance to quickly reset here in set number 2 after Concordia had at least a little bit of a run to start this second off strong. But a quick side out will silence those efforts immediately. Off the senior middle hitter and Reese Nave. More substitutions coming in for Concordia. Looks like number 19. Wathan Shine returning. Well, that one's going to be short off the hands of Aaron Linder, and we're still at a 4-point game. 12-8 here in the second. Northrop still with 1 timeout remaining. Concordia with 2, but a quick side out on the other end against the Bruins now cuts it down to 3. So it bops off the palm of Shine. And another ace on the board. This time off Fay 2. And all of a sudden the lead that was at 1.6 has now been cut down to 2. 2 hits this one over. Gets this one down to try to find So. So looking over to Mosher, downs it in. And all of a sudden the Bruins have cut what was at one point a 6-point lead down to 1 at 12-11. Hit up by Shine. Finding Pankop, Shine again. Little near collision, but saved over in time. They try to go for the dunk take, can't get it off the foot, that's live. It goes over again to Pankop, now to Shine, blocked up. They gotta save it for the back row, and can they? They do. As Armstead gets this one over in time. Now a high tip off the hands of Linder. And all of a sudden, this set is tied at 12. Thanks to the push from the senior outside hitter in Zachary Mosher. And all of a sudden, we are even at 12 here in set number 2. Well, what a quick comeback in the second for the Northrop Bruins. And again, really being led by Zachary Mosher in the entire way, but some great help from Fay too. And Liam Parrott, the freshman, also making a little bit of noise here in set number 2 as well. But nonetheless, it's the Bruins now riding with a little bit of house money and momentum here in set number 1, or set number 2 rather, I beg your pardon. As all of a sudden, the Bruins continue to find a way to get back in action. It's been quiet for Quinston Butler and Romeo Ramos in the second set because Mosher's really found a great way to just kind of run around the front of the net and at least try to put it down and in when he can. So we're even at 12 here in the second. This one brought out for Linder. Linder pivots this across. Now a chance up front to So. Looks back over to Shine. Now over to Pankop the other way. Looks over for Mosher. Mosher again. High tip down low. They got to go to Shine up front, and they do! He finds the outside edge of the box, and the lead is not ceded to the Bruins. Shine finds it in time. 13-12 here in the second. And Pankop now with another opportunity to bring it over. 13-12 Cadets. This one's a little low one. Gets this one high. Now finds Linder. High and out of play. They didn't see the tip. They were not looking for a tip. As Van Meter just hits this way out of play to make it 13-13. So can the Bruins find a way to get back in it? They battle back here in the second, but trying to take a 2-0 commanding lead could be the way. And Pankop with a quick side out, and just like that, the Bruins back on top for the first time in the second set since being up 1-0. Here's Mosher, set up by Linder. Linder on the other way, finds up to Shine, gets it off the hand of Butler, and we're even at 14 here in set number 2. You have a feeling this could be one of those marathon sets that Coach Tony Terrell has talked about, that his team always tries to find a way to stay competitive in. Little dunk block coming in from Romeo Ramos to make it now 15-14 in advantage of the Bruins. Foso to bring it over. So gets it across. Now finds Shine. Shine hits this one high, but out of play. It goes out of play against Shine. It looks like it might have edged the top of the box from our angle, but our line judges say it doesn't hit. Doesn't matter, however, as Mosher runs that into the net to cut the lead back to 1. 16-15 Bruins here in set number 2. Bruins winning the first 25-21 in case you're just joining us here on SummitCitySports.com. Push out the other way. They get this one high to Butler. Gets across the top and in time. As it just kind of rolls on that line. It takes a favorable bounce for the Bruins. Let's make it a 17-15 game. But the swing going wide and the serving errors again kind of hurting the Bruins just a little bit. As De Leon hits that to the right of the box. 17-16 Cadets trying to battle back here. So Lucas Boersma hits this one high. That's brought up by So. As he skates out of play on the double hit. So the double hit makes it now even at 17 here in the second. And an opportunity for Concordia to try to even the match up. So gets this over. Finds 2. High lift back to Shine in the front row. They go to Shine. A little miscommunication from Linder in the front. That one's down and in from 2. As Lucas Boersma was trying to run up front, but again, it looked like he kind of intercepted the play from Shine in the meantime. So all of a sudden, the Bruins still back on top. This one skates across, still live. Now they take it back to Shine up top. Sets over to So, I beg your pardon. Now back off Mosher. Dug by Shine. His brother gets it up the other way. Blocked out the other way. Down low! And a quick block in style for Fay 2 in the interim. And doing that with style and grace the other way. as a timeout will be called by Concordia. We'll take a look at that. Again, once more, presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. As Fatu doing a great job, at least up front. Again, you see a little back and forth, but he gets the aerial height that he needs to send it to the left of the Word Cadets on the court. So all of a sudden, this makes this match a 19-17 affair and advantage of the Bruins. So again, the Bruins trying to get a 10-win season. They can do so here if they win the next 2 sets. Meanwhile, Coach Tony Terrell and company also trying to find a 10-win season, but they got to sweep the table or at least win their next 3 if they drop this one here tonight. Again, both teams going to be in that DeKalb district, which we know is going to be certainly loaded this season. And with that parent show coming up on Sunday, it'll be interesting to see if these 2 teams might be a matchup. Coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow night. And ace on the board. This time for Naso, and a 3-point lead for the Bruins. As they've done a great job of at least battling back and trying to get Concordia out of sorts. And doing a great job of commanding the front line, too, in the interim. So hits this one in the net. And it's 20-18. So the Cadets now have an opportunity to cut it back down to 1. But time and points becoming of the essence. Here in set number 2. This one hit across, blocked up, got it. Zachary Mosher, the outside header, making it look easy for Northrop tonight. So he just lifted his hands and only gave a slight tip to get it in. 3-point lead, Bruins. Cordy off the top and off the noggin. As Liam Parrott thought that the play was blown dead, but not the case. Still a 2-point lead, but again, a point that Northrop would have had a little trouble to try to convert over the other way. So you can't blame them too much. Into the net that goes against the Cadets and Linder. And a 3-point lead and advantage of the Bruins here in set number 2, 22-19. But a great matchup so far here tonight. But the Bruins, again, trying to get to a 10-win season. And they've done it, doing a great job blocking up front at the net. And one man leading the way, Romeo Ramos, the junior opposite header. So we've got a 23-19 matchup here in the second. Here's Shine, down low and in. Gives the Cadets a little bit of extra life here in this one. With a 3-point game. Here's Penkop on the other side. Gets this across the toe, but can't get it over in time. As Zachary Mosher was trying to get his hand on it to lift it over, but again, couldn't convert. All of a sudden, a 2-point game here in the second, 23-21. Penkop now to bring it over the other way. Little low roller on the opposite side. Hit up by Shine. Can't get it to go. He didn't have the juice for it. And all of a sudden, it's set point and advantage of the Bruins. 24-21. And the captain now to bring it over in Zach Mosher. It's this one low. Shine knew he hit it the wrong way. And all of a sudden, Northrop going up 2-0 here in set as we go to set number 3. With the Bruins doing it thanks to late serves and front row blocking. We go to the third, 25-21, 25-21. Northrop with the advantage. Back in a moment, this is high school volleyball on SummitCitySports.com.
Countless hours of time in the pool, countless hours in here, making my body stronger, and it's been kind of like a mental thing too, just telling myself like you're fast enough to be able to compete with those girls that are at other Division I schools that I'll be competing against next year. It was like a big decision of like where I was going to go to school, and Valpo was a great experience on my first initial visit, and then once I met some of the teammates at an invitational that I went and watched, they were also just super inviting. The ability to be able to further my swim career and the equipment that I'm able to use at Valpo, I think can help me make really big strides. 18 months ago, I was diagnosed with a third-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I moved down here when I was younger. I went to the gym with my brother and my dad. It felt kind of natural. I just had a love for it. I feel like it got serious when I went from probably my 8th grade year to my freshman year. I knew Purdue was home for me because I just felt very comfortable when I got onto the campus and got around all the people and the team. They love me, I love them. And I'm just super excited to play with that group of girls and that group of coaches. Now I'm in here working out and it's helped me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders. You get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.
The athletes has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
25-21, 25-21. That is not an error. That is exactly how the first two sets have gone here tonight. With, again, Concordia battling back late in both sets, but the Northrop Bruins just proving to really provide a lot of great front row blocking here in set, or really this matchup thus far tonight, not one set versus another. As we head to a third set, Joe Northern, delighted to have you with us. So low serve going to go off the hand of two. And down low it again for Shine to answer back here in the first, 1-0. So again, this Concordia team, your second-year head coach Tony Terrell again, says his team's getting better every single day, but he's noticed the mental errors coming in when it comes to attacking. And that's something he's been trying to clean up front. As that one goes into the net, so we are officially even at 1 apiece. Zachary Mosher, the captain, again had a great night tonight thus far. Romeo Ramos also doing well. Both teams just really attacking the front of the net so well this evening. Here's Evan Armstead on the other side. This one's blocked up by Armstead, still kept live. Hang on. Here's So gets this one across. Now finding Shine. Shine again, tips down. Looks over to So on the other end. Now finding Mosher. Mosher again. A high little hit coming in from Van Meter. Tipped down by Ramos. Ramos again searching. Van Meter going to the back row, and he does. Dug by Northrop. Can't get this over in time. A quad hit. As Quinston Butler was looking for the angle but couldn't get it to go, and it's 2-1 Cadets here in the third. So again, the Cadets got a win to extend the match. Northrop needs to win and get on out of here to get ready for Northrop tomorrow night. As the swing is wide, let's make it 2-2. Don't forget, we're back on the air Wednesday night. We head north to Leo Cedarville in one of the more enticing matchups of this 2025 season, as it'll be Leo and Heritage. That'll be 7 o'clock from the Lions Den in Leo. We can't wait to bring that one to you right here on SummitCitySports.com. We'll let you know the other two regular season matchups we have on the schedule once we get a break on it, since we did get that finalized earlier this week, as Ramos gets that over. High swing, that's off the head, but still kept live by Nave, but still back-to-back quad hits going to go against Northrop to make it 3-2. Concordia now finding the edge. Here on Eugene Parker Court here tonight. Max Termolen brings it over. This one hit high, got it to go. Ramos with a little redemption on the other end to make it now 3-3. So very similar to what we saw in the first set, where it was just a bunch of teams trading points, going back and forth, but again, nonetheless, credit to Concordia for at least trying to pick apart those errors of what we've seen with Northrop. And Northrop doing a great job of at least getting some really quick swings one way or another. So the side out going to go against Northrop, make it 4-3. And now the Cadets trying to find a way to continue to extend the match here at the cage tonight. Lucas Boersma now. High serve the other way. Gets this one skated across, finds two. Two gets this low. Now another chance to the little dunk attack the other way, as Faye, too, does a great job of at least shutting it down and throwing off the front line of the Cadets to make this now even at 4 apiece. And the dueling So's Naso now to bring it over. 5'9" setter. Gets this one across, tipped over the other way, got it. As Preston Meyer was able to reach over in time to force it down in Concordia territory to make it 5-4 here in the third. So all of a sudden the Bruins trying to ride a little bit of extra momentum thanks to their setter. And so this one's low up the other way. They got to go to Shine, and they do. Tipped up to two, blocked up the other way, saved by So. Now over to Mosher on the other end. They go to Aker, but into the net it goes. So Alex Cordy getting that into the net in the meantime, and a 2-point lead advantage of Northrop. But So gets this low, and it's back down to 1. 6-5 here in the third. Arcar Shine to bring it over now. This one way high down to Mosher. Dug by Shine on the other end. Now finding Linder. Linder, light tip across. They go to two, and they do. That is hit against Boersma as he launched it out on the other side. Got his fingertips. I was going rather upward than forward. It's a 7-5 advantage Northrop here in the third. It's the Bruins trying to go for a straight set victory. That's dug by So on the other end. And a little bit of an interference going to go against, it will be an interference against Cordy. So he runs right up into the net, making now 8-5. So all of a sudden the Bruins now riding with house money and advantage here in this third set. As you see, Shine goes down on the trip, couldn't connect in time, and all of a sudden it's the Bruins on a quick 3-0 run here in the third. Again, both teams still 2 timeouts remaining. That goes into the net for So. for Fausto, we should say. But the lead now trimmed down to 3. Alex Cordy now on the other end. Cordy gets this one across and out of play. So knew he shouldn't have got his hand on it. But that gets Concordia a little more life here in the third. 9-7. As the Northrop bench is counting sign out, chanting sign out, we should say. And that's exactly what just happened off the hand of Cordy. 10-7 Bruins. So again, upcoming matchups between these two teams. It's very possible that we could see these two teams at the DeKalb sectional pair off against each other again, knowing the mystery draw method at the IHSAAA. We'll just have to wait and see how that turns out with the pairing show coming up next week, but it's very possible you could see these two match up against each other. Quick serve out the other way for Pankop. Pankop gets this low, finds Romero. Romero now over to Pankop on the opposite end. Locked up down low again by the Bruins. Here's 2, down to Romero. Got it in the back row. 11-8 the advantage here in the third. And the Bruins continuing to ride the momentum. So we take a look at how the sectionals are going to be looking this season. Again, 2 Fort Wayne sectionals, or 2 Fort Wayne area sectionals, we should say, in 2025. We'll get to that. Shine hits that into the net once we get a break in the play to let you know at least the teams that you'll be seeing in each sectional. Swing goes wide and out of play. And off the tip. They got it off the tip of a Concordia player. It looked like it was maybe off number 15, and Aaron Linder. Came by so quickly we couldn't notice. To tell you the truth, our apologies. Hit high by Shine, off the top it goes. And all of a sudden, it is Northrop riding the advantage here in set number 3, 14-8. As we take a timeout. So again, we'll keep it right here. Again, we talk about the teams in the sectionals, at least local sectionals that we're keeping our eyes on. DeKalb and Southside, both teams with 10 teams apiece. On the Southside sectional, you're looking at Belmont, Blackhawk Christian, Northside, Southside, Wayne, Heritage, Homestead, Huntington North, New Haven, and Norwell. And of those teams that have made the most noise this season, it has certainly been Heritage and Homestead, but don't count out Southside, and certainly don't count out Norwell on the other end, and New Haven. New Haven we will get a chance to see coming up a little bit later, or we should say next week. On May the 6th, as Homestead comes to town, and a potential sectional preview on the south side. But the DeKalb sectional, the one that's got a lot of eyes here in boys volleyball in Northeast Indiana. Again, Carroll's in that district, Columbia City, DeKalb, East Noble, Bishop Dwenger. But then it gets pretty top-heavy at that point with Concordia Lutheran, Northrop, Snyder, and Leo. And Woodland also in that sectional as well. So a very top-heavy DeKalb sectional that potentially 7 teams, or I should say at least 6 teams, maybe 7, could potentially take that sectional and run with it in their own hands. Swing goes wide. And off the touch it goes for So yet again. With a little help from Zachary Mosher. It's 15-8, and the rout is on here at Concordia, with the Bruins of their largest lead tonight of 7 points, 15-8 here in set number 3. But the swing goes wide and a chance for Concordia to reset, 15-9. Here Shine gets this across to Mosher. Tipped up the other way. Nice little dig coming in from 2. Mosher hits this high off the tip of Shine. This one's still live. Goes to Linder. Linder hits this one across. That's back over to So. Hits it off the hands of Butler. Butler now looking for Shine. Blocked up. Got it. It's been the blocks of the Bruins that have made the most noise here tonight. And this time, it's coming off the hands of number 7, Romeo Ramos. And a 7-point game, 16-9, late here in the third. Reesnabe brings it over. Dug deep by Linder. They go to Shine off the tip and got it. A little miscommunication. They were trying to figure out, okay, where is this going to flow? But again, goes right in the middle, and sometimes just a point you have to take in the meantime. 6-point lead advantage of the Bruins, but can the Cadets find a way back? We've seen them battle back many a times. Long swing from Meyer. Shine gets this one, dug again. They go to Mosher inside the box. So a quick swing inside the box for the captain and Mosher. And Northrop still continuing to ride the advantage, 17-10 here in this third set. Long swing over, it bounces off Shine. It bounces off Akar Shine, the sophomore. And the lead extended to 8, 18-10 here in the third. So the Bruins can certainly taste it here. Small serve on the way from De Leon. Down over to Shine. De Leon with the set. Now connects over with Butler. Passes this one across. Finds Shine. They're going to have to lob it over, and they do off the hands of Pinkop. Gets this one. Tipped off Shine. Now back over to Cordy. Passed up. Finding Butler. Butler again on the other end. Shine can't connect. And Northrop trying to take advantage of the Concordia mistakes, and they've continued to do just that in a 9-point game here in this third set. Dug up by Mosher, still kept live. Goes back to Shine off the tip. Now they find Toe. Toe, got it! Actually, if swings, nope, still kept live, just a scoreboard error. Just lost my eyes to see if Toe absolutely had that in the box. Here's De Leon to bring it over. De Leon goes down to Cordy. Out of play. Swing going wide for number 1, 21-10. As the Bruins are now on at least a 7-0 run here in this third set. As Concordia has not been able to try to find an answer. They still haven't found an answer with the dunk attack up front. And all of a sudden, last chance to dance if you are Concordia. With Preston Meyer going to get credit for the kill on that one. Here's Shine, back up to Cordy. Tipped up the other way to De Leon. Hits the side of Toe. Down low to Butler, still kept up. That's a quad hit. As Quinston Butler found a way to really try to make him work for it, but will actually go with the lift rather than the quad hit. So Concordia going to take their last time out here. So again, it has been all Bruins all night long here in this one, but really now with a commanding opportunity here in set number 3, leading at 23-10. So again, the Bruins just continuing to dominate late here in this third set. And have made quick work of the Concordia Cadets. And for Concordia, as we mentioned, it doesn't get easier, as their schedule is not many would envy. Again, taking on Homestead, at Homestead on Wednesday, and at Snyder on May the 7th. You do welcome Bishop Dwenger on the 5th. But meanwhile, Northrop, they've got a date with Homestead coming up tomorrow night. That's a 6:30 start time from the Bruins Gymnasium. That one's hit out by Butler. Shine's going to have to get this one across, and he does. Get a great block up front for Butler. That one down and in. And it's match point and advantage of the Bruins. So all of a sudden, it is match point as the Bruins have not been able to allow Concordia any points, except maybe one or two in this late stretch here in the third. This one hit high to Butler. Lob down. Finding Linder on the other side. They go to Cordy. Cordy gets it over. They go to Toe. Bopped up again by Mosher. Mosher looking over to Cordy. And Cordy keeps it alive for the moment. 24-11 here in set number 3. It's the Bruins again without any timeouts. Or I should say the Cadets without any timeouts, but the Bruins have continued to dominate this evening. Here's Borsma, gets this across. Finds Toe, hits this one down and in, and that's it. And Zachary Mosher finishes it and ends it. And that is how this one comes to an end. So a 3-set sweep in advantage of the Northrop Bruins, and winning the third in commanding fashion. 25-21, 25-21, and 25-11 here at the cage tonight. Our PSM player of the game has to go to a guy who really opened the door and then just, again, continued to command the front line. I'm going to give it to Romeo Ramos, who continued to run the front line tonight, especially in set number 3, to push ahead against a very, very good Concordia team. But nonetheless, it's the Bruins. They have a 10-win season. They go to 10-3, and they welcome Homestead tomorrow night. Concordia, they head to Homestead on Wednesday evening. And on Wednesday evening, we will join you from Leo High School for Heritage and Leo. Start time just before 7 p.m. Again, we'll have it for you right here on SummitCitySports.com. Again, for all of us here at Summit City Sports, Joe Northern saying so long from the cage, where Northrop makes easy work of Concordia, winning in 3 straight, 25-21, 25-21, and 25-11. So long.
Countless hours of time in the pool, countless hours in here, making my body stronger, and it's been kind of like a mental thing too, just telling myself like, you're fast enough to be able to compete with those girls that are at other Division I schools that I'll be competing against next year. It was like a big decision of like where I was going to go to school, and Valpo was a great experience on my first initial visit. And then once I met some of the teammates at an invitational that I went and watched, they were also just super inviting. The ability to be able to further my swim career and the equipment that I'm able to use at Valpo, I think can help me make really big strides. 18 months ago, I was diagnosed with a 3rd-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before, and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just